Welcome to CivilNet. Joining me via Skype from Los Angeles is Gev Iskajyan. He is a member of the Central Executive of the Armenian Youth Federation, AYF West Coast. Gev, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The young activists in North America and Canada and the United States, Armenian activists, you always tend to think outside the box, do initiatives, take action that sometimes for our generation is a little crazy, but then we understand that you understand what you're doing, and that makes such a great impact. I want to talk about the number of initiatives, but to begin with, I want to talk about something called #Divest Turkey. Why don't you tell our viewers what that's all about?
So the #Divest Turkey campaign was started by the AYF Western region. We started earlier this year as a way for our basically Armenian community in the diaspora, students specifically, to play a part in Haitad and to see how it connects to their personal lives. A lot of these students attend universities which have investments in the government of Turkey. So in essence, the tuition money that they're paying goes back into the Turkish government that denies their basically their identity, denies the Armenian genocide that happened to most of their ancestors, and also continues that denialist policy. So this is a way of Armenian students from any background to come together and have their voices heard, put agency in the institutions that they're involved with, and leverage those institutions to fight for human rights. And the way that we're doing it is pursuing the divestment of funds in Turkey through the UC system.
It's interesting. I mean, how did you find out that the UC system, the University of California, universities were actually investing in the government of Turkey?
Well, we were actually inspired about 30 years ago. The South African government, when it partook in apartheid, the UC system was the first system to actually divest from its government, and in turn that led to a lot of sanctions put on South Africa, which then led to the end of the apartheid. So through movements like that, we were inspired to recreate this, to take agency in what we do, and also we looked at it as a way to connect Armenian youth on a lot of these campuses that may have never connected their personal lives to the actual Haitad struggle or Turkey's denialist policies. It's one thing to grow up in an environment when you're taught about the genocide. It's another thing to be complicit with the government that denies it, to have the money that your parents make, the money that you make, the money that you pay for education, to in turn go to the Turkish government, who's doing all these human rights abuses and also denying our genocide.
Right. So talk to me, if you will, about UC Berkeley. On February, I believe it was 18, you were able to pass a decision, to adopt a decision that UC Berkeley will no longer invest in Turkey. That's quite an accomplishment. And talk to me about the numbers, if you will.
So the direct fund that we've identified is with the main UC system, and that fund holds about $72.6 million in investments. And these aren't just investments in companies that operate in Turkey, but they're investments in direct bonds or holdings in the Turkish government. So that money is directly tied to all the money that Turkey allocates to pursue genocide denial. The process that we had was we contacted a lot of the ASA students, the Armenian Student Association, which helped us out a lot in this process. Those students then in turn presented a bill to their student body. Their student body took a vote and they unanimously passed it. Our plan is to hit every single UC campus one by one, and then to take our initiative to the regions and make the regions vote to fully divest all their holdings in the UC system. So Berkeley was a great accomplishment, just like UCLA a few weeks before that was a great accomplishment. But these are all small parts in our ultimate goal, which is to get the entire UC system to pull all of its funding from the government of Turkey.
Were you able to get support from other students in the university, non-Armenian is what I mean? What was the reaction? Did you feel that you had their support as well?
Yes, we've had a great amount of support and a great amount of solidarity from various communities within these campuses, whether it's ethnic, religious, any type. For UCLA, we actually had just as many non-Armenians show up and talk about their cause and how genocide has affected them specifically, how they have connections to the Armenian community, and how as a human rights activist, the Armenian genocide is a cause that's viable for just about any student who cares about where their money goes. So we've received a tremendous amount of support and solidarity from all the communities on these campuses.
Kev, you have another initiative. You know, obviously we're in the centennial year of the Armenian genocide. 100 days of action leading up to April 24, where you're doing a number of initiatives. And I think it was on March 1st, just 2 days ago, you staged a die-in in front of the Staples Center in Los Angeles. A few days before that, at the University of Toronto, there are two scholars, well-known genocide deniers. They were met by about 70 Armenian students, Canadian Armenian students, who got up and turned their backs, turning their back on denialists. These events, these initiatives had tremendous resonance in Armenia. Here at CivilNet, when we posted those stories, we got thousands and thousands of people liking those stories and commenting, saying, look at what these young people in North America, you know, thousands of miles away from their homeland, are doing. So tell me, did you understand or realize the impact that these events are going to have, not only on your communities, but also, you know, in the homeland?
The reaction we've received from our diasporan communities and especially the homeland has been tremendous, and it's something that fuels what we do here every day. To be honest with you, I think the AYF, whether it's in the West Coast, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in the East Coast, or any of our diasporan communities, they've been taking up actions like this for years now. But recently, we've been lucky with the explosion of social media. We've been able to connect the rest of the world to the things that we're doing currently on a day-to-day basis. For example, 100 Days of Action. We have lots of programs, whether it's protests, whether it's divestment, whether it's educational forums, whether it's community-wide panels. These are things that we've been doing in the community for years. Obviously, they've been amplified to a degree because of the centennial of the Armenian genocide. But thanks to social media, thanks to the resources that we have at hand, we've been able to connect these movements that affect all Armenians, not just Armenians in the diaspora. We've been able to connect them with people, with real everyday people, and the feedback we've had is absolutely tremendous.
Well, Gev Iskajyan, thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us sort of a window into what you're doing. We'll be following your 100 Days of Action. And so the best of luck to all of the initiatives that the AYF West Coast, the AYF movement in North America in general is undertaking. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Maria.
I'd like to remind our viewers that my guest was Gev Iskajyan from Los Angeles. He is a member of the Central Executive of the Armenian Youth Federation West Coast. Stay with CivilNet.